My priest used to wear eyeliner. Let's talk about it. I can't even say that with a straight face. I grew up in the Catholic Church, but I absolutely hated going just because I was like little, and on Sundays I like wanted to play with my friends. But oh, my mom was my CCD teacher, so like I had to go. You're supposed to get like your baptism, then you get communion, then you get confirmation. I didn't even make it to get confirmed, but this is a story of finding out my priest was wearing eyeliner during my communion. And like a week before you get communion, you have to confess your sins. And at the time, I never confessed anything. I never even went into a confessional until I was in high school. So like my mom notified me, she's like, hey, like you gotta go confess your sins. I'm bawling my eyes out because at this point, I'm thinking that if you go confess something, it means it has to be like you robbed somebody, you hurt someone, like, and I was literally what, 8? So I'm like, what the hell do I have to confess? I literally thought I was gonna have to go to a trial and we were gonna decide my fate in the universe. So I'm thinking of things to say to this priest. I'm like, okay, well, I stole the Reese's Pieces from my mom. I talked back. I might have like, I don't know, like looked at somebody weird. Like I'm just coming up with a bunch of things that I could have done to confess because I was like, what the hell do you need me to confess? So the priest in our church, his name was Father Joe, and I absolutely loved Father Joe. He had the best vibes. He was always positive. He was always smiling. He was never like trying to shame me for anything. So I was like, what the hell is going on? So they were like, okay, you can do your confession with Father Joe. Because I was like, listen, the only person I'm willing to talk to in this joint is Father Joe. Father Joe was the one to explain to me that the wine they give you at communion is like not poisoned and they're not trying to get me drunk. Because I was like, guys, I'm 8. Like this is illegal. Long story short, my mom takes me, we like walk up the aisle and she's like, okay, go confess your sins to Father Joe. And so I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm like, Father Joe, like I'm not ready to go to hell. Please don't damn me to hell. I'll do anything. Like, what do you need me to confess? Like, I stole Reese's from my mom. I talked back to my mom. Like, sometimes I have an attitude, but I promise you, Father Joe, like, I don't mean it. Long story short, he's like comforting me and I'm looking at him and I'm like, something doesn't seem right here. I'm like staring really closely at him and I'll never forget, he had such blue eyes, but I was like, this guy's wearing eyeliner. This wasn't like a little like smudged black brown liner. It was electric blue. Because I was like, at this point, so obsessed with like Bethany Moda and Makeup by Mandy. Like, I knew makeup, okay? And I was like, Father Joe, what is this CoverGirl electric blue cut crease smudged wing? Like, what do you have going on? I was like, I knew I always loved Father Joe. I knew he was always my favorite. And now that I got a closer peek, I can see why. We literally are wearing the same eyeliner. And you know what? Why does his look 1,000 times better than mine? Long story short, Father Joe wore purple eyeliner to my communion. And then after that, he got fired. But he said, nope, you ain't kicking me out of the Catholic Church. And he went to the town over, or like 2 towns over, which was actually my cousin's town. So they got a load of Father Joe too. And I was like, we just, as a family, collectively love Father Joe. Like, we grew up with him. And like, you know what? The man did great wings. He did great smudged looks. Like, he definitely had a completely different life outside of the church. So I loved Jesus growing up. I was like, this is my place. Like, I don't even know what's going on. And then I went to actual Catholic school and I couldn't say the word God for 5 years because I was that traumatized by my experience there. And now I feel a lot better and I feel like I've kind of made like mixed spirituality with religion. And I was just at mass this morning. And so I'm happy I